Hi guys, today we are going to be making a crochet foolproof, easy to do baby headband, okay? With a flower applique. So it's kind of two projects in one today. So the supplies needed are going to be two different colors of yarn. These I have in the medium rose shade of pink, and then a white, and they are both acrylic. And then a crochet hook, and today I'm using a 4.0 millimeter, a pair of scissors, and then your darning needle. So gather your supplies and meet me back here and I'll show you how to make that cute baby headband. Okay guys, so when I do my baby headbands, I typically make it for infant size to about 3 months, okay? Now there is going to be a little bit of stretch in your headband depending on what kind of yarn you're using. I am using acrylic today. So to make the headband, we chain in chains of 5, groups of 5, okay? So when I make mine, I always do chain of 50 and then plus 1 for our turning chain, okay? But if you need to make yours bigger, just keep it in the groups of 5 like that and then add 1 to make your chaining for your turning, okay? So I do 50 and then plus the 1, okay? So decide on how big you want yours and just keep it in the group of 5. I'm going to make a slip knot to start it out. And then once you have your slip knot nice and snug on your hook, like I said, I'm going to do 50, but do as many as you need and then chain the 1 additional one, okay? So altogether, I'm going to have 51. So do your chaining and meet me back here. Okay, so I have my 50 chains plus the 1. Let me take out my yarn here for a second and just show you guys. And as you see, if I fold it in half and kind of circle it, it's about that big. And mine does stretch a little bit, as you see. So like I said, depending on what kind of yarn you're using, just determine what size you're going to need and go from there with keeping the groups of 5, like I said, okay? So once you have all your chaining done and your 1 additional chain, what we're going to do is skip this first one and go into that next chain here. So you got your yarn on your hook, skip that next one, and then go into that second one, okay? And you are going to do a single crochet. So hook in, pull out that yarn, yarn over, and pull through. That's 1 single crochet, okay? Then you're going to skip 2, so 1, 2, and into that third one, we're going to put 5 double crochet. So yarn over, pull through. You should have 3 on your hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2. Yarn over, pull through the next 2. That was 1 double crochet, and we need a total of 5 in that same chain. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then once you have that, we are going to skip the next 2. And into that third chain, we are going to do 1 single crochet again. And then skip the next 2. And into that third chain space, we are going to put 5 double crochet again. Two, 3, 4, and 5. And so we're going to repeat this all the way down the end of our tail here. So skip 2, do a single crochet, skip 2, do a 5 double crochet, all the way down into the end, okay? and you're going to meet me back here when we are done, but this is what half of it is looking like so far. So it's kind of like a ruffle going down the one edge. And then once we're done with the one side, we're going to turn around and come back and do the same exact thing on the other side, okay? So go all the way down and meet me back here. Okay, so I made it to the end of my first half of my headband. And you can see that where I ended here. Let me just pull out my hook. And we ended with a single crochet at the end here. And all we're going to do is flip our work now and do the same thing on this side. Okay, so let me put my hook back in and show you. We are going to go into the exact same spot that we were just in and do a single crochet. And we're going to skip the next two. And we are going to double crochet 5 times right into that next spot. So basically we're just repeating exactly what we did on the other side, like I said. And let me pull out my hook again after I did my 5 here. And you can see we just kind of made a circle now around it, okay? So this will be one side of our headband, and we'll end up just stitching it together like so. Okay? So you're just going to keep going around down this side of the chain now, okay? So skip the next 2. And as you see, there's like a little opening when you come to the single crochet, because that's where we did the last one, okay? So there'll be like a little tiny hole. You'll know that's the spot, okay? So that's where your single crochet went. And now you can see in this bigger hole is where we did the 5 double crochet on this side. So that's where we're going to go. But like I said, you can count and do your skip 2s, because that's all we're doing is skipping 2. So 5 double crochet into this spot. And then we either count 2, or else you find that little opening, which is right here. And that's where we put our 1 single crochet. Okay, so just repeat that down this side and meet me back here when you got to the end of your headband, okay? Okay, so I just got done doing my last cluster of 5 double crochet. So once you're done with that, all you do is go into that first stitch that we started with. And you're just going to go through and make a slip stitch. And then I chain 1, and we're going to cut off using a little longer of a tail so that we can sew him in. Let me get rid of this yarn and then pull that through and just place our needle onto him. And so now I just go through with my needle some of these top stitches here on both sides just to start to secure him in place. And this is where we're going to put our flower, so it doesn't have to be perfect anyways. If you're not good at sewing, like I really don't like sewing projects, but sometimes it needs to be done, right? So this is one of the reasons why I call this the foolproof baby headband, and this is my go-to whenever I need to make baby headbands. It's just simple, it works up quick, and it doesn't use too much yarn. Okay, so that should be good. And then all I do, because like I said, we're placing our flower over here is I just do a little double knot with these 2 pieces of yarn, and then I trim the extra off of that. Okay, so let's take a look. This is our baby headband so far. And then it'll be nice and smooth on the baby's head because that is the opposite side. All the stitching is on the outside here. So it's nice and smooth on the inside for their head. And then this outside that is a little bit bumpy now will get covered with our flower. Or if you want to make a different applique, that's fine as well. So that's your choice. But I will show you now how we do the flower. And I chose pink yarn for that, okay? You can use any color of your liking, but I just grabbed this pink yarn. Nice and simple, okay? Okay, so to make our flower, what we're going to do is make a slip knot and attach that snugly to our hook. And once you do that, we are going to chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to slip stitch into that first chain that we made and connect that to make a ring. And now we're going to chain 1. That doesn't really count for anything. And from now on, we are going to be working into this ring here, okay? So after your chain 1, we are going to make a single crochet into the ring. And then to make our first petal, we are going to make 4 trebles into the ring, okay? So if you don't remember a treble, it's yarn over, and then put the hook into the ring and pull out yarn. And you should have 4 strands of yarn on your hook. Yarn over and pull through the first 2. Now you should have 3 on your hook. Yarn over and pull through the next 2. And you should have 2 left. Yarn over and pull through those 2. Okay, so that was our first one, and we need a total of 4 of those. So yarn over, and do your treble. That was 2. Do another one, your third one. That was our third. And then our last one. Okay, so after you have 4 trebles into your ring, what you're going to do is go straight back into that ring and do a single crochet. Okay, so that's our first petal. And then what you're going to do is make 4 more trebles right into that ring. So go right back into that ring and make another 4. Oops. Okay, and once you have another set of 4 trebles, you're going to go straight back in with 1 single crochet. Now already your ring is, let me pull out my yarn and hook here. Already your ring is getting tight, okay? So what you do is you just take your ring, you hold your ring, and you just push those petals from where we ended. Just push those petals right on that ring. Just move them all over. You're going to scrunch all 5 of these petals onto this little ring, and I promise it'll fit, but you just got to keep scrunching them like that. So as you see here, we have petal 1, our first one, and then our second petal. And in total, we are looking at 5. So you're just going to keep doing that around until you have all 5, okay? So 4 trebles and 1 single crochet. 4 treble and 1 single crochet. Do not, after you got your 5th petal, do not single crochet to end your project, okay? I will come back and show you what we're going to do. So once you have your 5th petal, just stop and wait for me. Pause it here, and I will show you how we will end this project, okay? Okay, so I just got done doing all my petals, and we have a total of 5. So that was our first one here, our second, third, fourth, and now my 5th one I just finished. And instead of doing the single crochet, what we're going to do is find that first stitch that we did. There's our very first chain. And so we're going to go into him and just make a slip stitch. Okay, and then we are going to cut off our yarn there. And again, because we are attaching it to our headband that we made, we're going to leave a longer tail on it, okay? So cut off your extra yarn and get rid of that, and then just pull that on through, okay? So there we have our little flower that we're going to make and attach onto our headband that we did. So let me grab my headband and my needle again. And this is the center here where we connected the 2 ends like previously in the beginning of the video. And you're just gonna pick one of the yarn and put it onto your needle, if mine will go on. There we go. And we're going to place it on top there. Let me get this other one out of the way here. And so you're just going to go through now into the back of the headband and just attach it as so. You just kind of got to play with it and line it up as yours behaves for you, and just attach it as best as you can. So I go through a few times like this just to make sure it's nice and attached to each other. Okay. So that feels pretty good on mine. And then I just do the same, attach my yarn to my needle with my other piece of yarn from the other side of the flower. And just do the same. I go through a few different ways. And then once I'm done with that, again, this is the inside of the headband, so it doesn't have to be perfect. This will be the part that's up against the baby's head. I just secure it with a double knot inside here then. And then I trim this extra yarn here. Flip it back over to show you guys. And there is our flower headband. Very cute. It is a very easy project. The flower, this is one of my easiest flowers that I do. And this headband is super simple to do too. So this is why I call it my foolproof, like I said. I hope you enjoyed the video. Baby season is coming with the warmer weather. It seems like that's when a lot more baby showers happen, although babies obviously happen all year. But I hope this helps. I hope this gives you a cute little gift idea. You can also make this if you guys have children with American Girl dolls. You can use that as a headband for them as well, or a necklace for little dolls like that too. So just some simple, cute ideas, okay? So if you like the video, please like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.